Imagine waking up tomorrow. The sky is still blue, the oceans still move with the tides, the wind still blows through forests. But there is one impossible difference. Humans never existed, not a single city, not a single road, not a single language, no history, no wars, no inventions, nothing. Earth continued its journey through space exactly as it always had, just without us. It sounds peaceful, almost beautiful, but would it actually be? Because humans have changed nearly every corner of this planet. We have built thousands of cities, redirected rivers, cut down forests, created artificial islands, sent machines to other planets. Even the air you breathe today carries the fingerprints of humanity. Now imagine pressing a reset button. Everything we have ever built, every skyscraper, every country, every satellite orbiting above us, gone, as if humanity had never appeared. Would Earth become a paradise, or would something far stranger happen? To answer that question, we first need to go back. Not hundreds, not thousands, but millions of years. Long before the first cities, before agriculture, before language, before humans even looked like humans. Our story begins in Africa, around 7 million years ago. Small ape-like ancestors slowly began walking upright. It was one tiny evolutionary step. At the time, it seemed meaningless. Nature had produced millions of species before. Why would this one matter? But over millions of years, those small changes created creatures capable of making tools, then fire, then civilizations, then the modern world. Now imagine that single evolutionary path never happened. Maybe one tiny genetic mutation failed. Maybe one ancestor never survived. Maybe evolution simply chose a different direction. Suddenly, there are no humans, no Homo sapiens, no civilization. The Earth keeps spinning, but history becomes completely different. Forests that disappeared thousands of years ago would still cover enormous parts of Europe, Asia, and North America. Gigantic predators that humans hunted into extinction might still dominate entire ecosystems. Woolly mammoths could still be walking across frozen landscapes. Massive flocks of birds would darken the skies. Whales would roam oceans almost untouched. Coral reefs would stretch farther than anything alive today has ever seen. Nature wouldn't stop evolving. Without humanity changing the rules, evolution would continue writing its own story. And surprisingly, one completely different species might eventually begin its own journey toward intelligence. The question is, who would replace us? But if humans never existed, nature wouldn't simply stay frozen in time. It would keep changing. Because evolution never stops. It never has. It never will. For millions of years, every species on Earth has been competing in a silent race. A race for survival. A race for intelligence. Without humans dominating the planet, another species might eventually take our place. But which one? Surprisingly, some scientists believe the answer may not be the strongest animal. It may not even be a mammal. Take the octopus, an animal so intelligent that it can solve puzzles, escape locked containers, remember solutions, and even use tools. Its brain evolved completely independently from ours. Imagine giving a creature like that another 10 million years. Now imagine dolphins. They already recognize themselves in mirrors. They communicate using complex sounds. They teach their young. They cooperate during hunting. Without humans polluting oceans or disrupting ecosystems, could dolphins eventually build something resembling civilization? It sounds impossible. But then again, if someone had looked at a tiny ape 7 million years ago, would they have predicted smartphones, satellites, or space telescopes? Perhaps intelligence is not unique. Perhaps we were simply first. Meanwhile, the Earth itself would look dramatically different. Cities like New York, Tokyo, London, Dubai, They would never exist. Instead, massive forests would stretch across entire continents. Rivers would follow their natural paths. Wild animals would migrate freely across lands now divided by highways and fences. Even the night sky would be different. Today, thousands of satellites surround our planet. Without humans, the sky would return to complete darkness. No artificial lights, no airplanes, no glowing cities visible from space, only stars, exactly as they appeared hundreds of thousands of years ago. Ironically, Earth might actually become quieter than at any moment in modern history. No engines, no factories, no traffic, only wind, rain, thunder, and the sounds of wildlife. For many people, that sounds like paradise. But there is another side to the story. Because humans didn't only destroy nature, we also protected it. Thousands of species survive today because humans chose to save them. National parks, wildlife conservation, medical care for endangered animals. Without humanity, none of those would exist. Nature would become free, but it would also become unforgiving. Weak species would disappear, strong ones would thrive. Evolution would continue without mercy. There's another question almost everyone asks. If humans never existed, would dinosaurs still be alive today? The answer is almost certainly not. The asteroid that struck Earth 66 million years ago happened long before humans ever appeared. That single event changed the entire future of life on this planet. Without it, mammals may never have become dominant. And without mammals, humans would never have had the chance to evolve. In a strange way, our existence began with one of Earth's greatest disasters. But even after dinosaurs disappeared, Earth was anything but peaceful. Ice ages came and went. Supervolcanoes erupted. Continents slowly drifted across the planet. Entire species appeared, then vanished forever. Extinction has always been part of Earth's story. The difference is, humans became the first species capable of changing the planet faster than nature itself. Within just a few thousand years, we reshaped landscapes, redirected rivers, built cities visible from space, and altered the chemistry of the atmosphere. No other known species has ever done that. Without humans, climate would still change, glaciers would still melt, volcanoes would still erupt, earthquakes would still shake continents. Nature doesn't need us to create chaos. It has always been capable of doing that on its own. But many of today's environmental problems would be dramatically smaller. Plastic would never fill the oceans. Millions of tons of carbon dioxide would never enter the atmosphere because of industry. Entire forests like the Amazon would remain far larger than they are today. Many endangered animals might still roam freely across vast wilderness. The balance of nature would be different. Not perfect, but different. And then there's space. Without humans, no rockets would ever leave Earth. No footprints on the moon, no satellites orbiting above, no Mars rovers, no space telescopes revealing distant galaxies. The universe would remain silent, watching Earth from billions of miles away. Without anyone looking back, everything humanity has discovered, black holes, distant planets, the age of the universe, would still exist. But no one would ever know. Perhaps the greatest thing humans ever created wasn't technology. It was curiosity, the desire to ask questions that have no immediate purpose. Questions like, where did we come from? Are we alone? What happens after the stars die? Without us, those questions would never be asked, because as far as we know, the universe doesn't ask questions. Only conscious minds do. So, would Earth actually be better without humans? At first, the answer seems obvious. Cleaner oceans, larger forests, more wildlife, less pollution, a quieter world. But the deeper you think about it, the more complicated the answer becomes. Because Earth has survived 5 mass extinctions long before humans ever existed. It has been frozen, burned, flooded, shattered by asteroids. Life has always found a way to continue, not because the planet is peaceful, but because life is incredibly resilient. Humans are often described as Earth's greatest problem, and in many ways, that criticism is deserved. We have damaged ecosystems, driven countless species to extinction, polluted the air, the oceans, and even space itself. But we're also the only known species trying to reverse that damage. We're the ones planting new forests, cleaning polluted rivers, protecting endangered animals, developing cleaner energy, and searching for ways to repair what we've broken. No other species has ever consciously tried to save an entire planet. That's something completely unique. Maybe humanity isn't simply nature's mistake. Maybe we're one of nature's experiments, an experiment powerful enough to destroy the world, yet intelligent enough to protect it. Without humans, Earth would almost certainly be wilder, greener, quieter, but it would also be a world without art, without music, without science, without stories, without dreams. No one would stand on a mountain and wonder what lies beyond the horizon. No one would look through a telescope and discover another galaxy. No one would write a poem, compose a symphony, or ask impossible questions about the universe. The planet would still be alive, but it would never know that it was alive. Perhaps that's what makes humanity so extraordinary. We're not just part of Earth's story. We're the only chapter capable of reading the book itself. And maybe the greatest question isn't, what if humans never existed? Maybe the real question is, now that we do exist, what kind of future will we choose to create?